So we're excited to be here and share with you about impact in the upcoming cohort that we've got in 2022. And to do that, I'm going to invite some impact cohorts from the last 2 years and some mentors to come up. If you'll make your way to the stage, we would appreciate it. Also want to just recognize one of the principles of transformational leadership, which we talk about with our group, is a principle of honor. And it's always important to honor those in our midst, in our community. So I do want to honor the college and say well done. Excellent job. I believe you guys are offer an amazing program. And Brenda and your team, you guys do great work. So again, thank you so much. And also want to honor Chevron as the group is coming up for Industry of the Year and appreciate your commitment to leadership in our community. So we've got, I think, 3 mics up here, and we'll pass those around as we go through. I'll introduce everyone quickly. We'll spend a few minutes talking about Impact 2022 and the journey that we've been on together. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Rick Torsen. I'll be the moderator today as we visit for a little bit. I have a company called Right Now Leadership, and have had the privilege and honor to work with Impact Pasadena Leadership for the last few years, along with Alicia Harris and a great team who's been able to facilitate this process. So we're thankful for them and all of our sponsors. So I'm going to introduce each person real quickly, and then I'm going to ask them to share one thing about themselves that you may not know, and then we're going to define leadership a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the experience and how you can get involved. So I've got Spencer here, who's with Pinnacle. Spencer, it was in the 2020 class, this last class and cohort, so we're excited to have him with us today. I've got Heather Lambert, who's with us as well. She's the founder and owner of Clear Hope Counseling and Wellness, so we're excited about it. And I think she's an upcoming author as well. Oh, that's the one thing, so I take that from you. Well, I don't know if that's true. I heard a rumor, so you'll have to let us know if that's true or not. Then we have Kicker. Kicker Cardenas is Kicker Insures Me. She was in the 2019 class, and she has her own company. We also have, Dr. Brenda Hellier, who's with San Jacinto College, the chancellor of the college. Thank you so much. And then Melinda Torreson, who is the president and CEO of Metter Staffing Services. Melinda and Dr. Hellier were mentors of our class, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So what we're going to do...
Rick, it's Brenda. Don't do that doctor stuff.
Oh, yeah, doctor. Okay, sorry. Doctor,
Right.
doctor. Brenda, well, thank you. So we're going to just let them, first of all, I'm going to have them go around, and you guys are going to do 2 things for me. We'll go down the line. So Spencer, you've got a mic. I want you to tell us one thing that people may not know, and then I want you to define leadership for us. What is, just a quick definition, leadership is, and finish that statement, and then we'll work down the line. Spencer?
Thanks, Rick. Howdy, everyone. Spencer Fulton with Pinnacle. All my Pinnacle coworkers over there. Thanks, guys. One thing you may not know about me, let's see, put me on the spot here, Rick. What? I do like to cook. Yeah, thanks, Clint. I'm an author of a cookbook myself. My wife and I put out a cookbook about 2 years ago, so that was a big thing it was all of our family recipes that we put together and took pictures and made a cookbook out of it. So to get to your question, Rick, leadership is the ability to make a vision become a reality through the positive influence of others. That's what I think the key to leadership is, or that's what it really is to me.
Thanks, Spencer. Hi, I'm Heather Lambert. I'm the founding director of Clear Hope Counseling and Wellness Center right here in Pasadena, Texas. One thing that you just found out about me is I did just write a book that's due to be released in July called Overcoming Toxic Air. But you may not know that I was a high school Spanish teacher for 12 years. I know, you would have guessed Spanish, right? If I think about my definition of leadership, I think of the kind of leadership that's been modeled for me by many people in my community, many of you, many of the people that I worked with in Pasadena ISD, many of the people that I've been mentored by. I'm probably won the lottery of mentors because I got to be mentored by the one and only Miss Melinda Torreson as a part of Impact. But I think my favorite definition of leadership is simply this: leaders go first and they leave last. And that's what I've seen so many of you guys do. And I know sometimes being a leader can feel really lonely, and you can think that maybe no one's realizing just how great of a job you're doing as a leader. But I just want to affirm you and say, I see you, and you inspire me.
That was hard to follow. And I think all of us impact participants probably love our mentors each the same and think we won the lotto. So I am Kicker with Kicker Insures Me Agency, and fun fact that some people know and probably needs to be or wants to be shared. So I'm a competitive pistol shooter. I shoot IDPA, which is the International Defensive Pistol Association. I dabble in clays and 3-guns, so that's a fun fact about me. And
Everyone's like, okay, is she packing? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, we're good.
we'll never tell. And leadership, prior to the program, would have been a different definition for me than it is today. And today, leadership is the actions that we take or don't take. It's the words that we use or we leave unspoken that motivate or influence or impact those around us.
Wow, that's very powerful. So I was going to tell you, I'll tell you my fact, but I don't have a pistol. I do have a black powder muzzle loader rifle, though, and I even have directions on how to load it. My dad is a gunsmith and thought I needed one, so I've got it if you ever want to come over. But so my fun fact that I was going to share with you is, most of you know I grew up in Hays, Kansas. What you probably don't know is, and this is something that I know will be used against me later, but I went to a girls' Catholic high school, and so I went out for shot put because I could go over to the boys' Catholic school, so that was my motivation. Alacia said I could say something fun, so there.
We're taking notes. It's good. It's all good.
So leadership. I think leadership is about enabling and empowering others to do more together than they ever thought was possible alone. And how do you really help to inspire and enable and take out the barriers so that can happen?
Yeah, always the last. Everything they just said. I'm Melinda, and what probably a lot of you don't know about me, some of you do, is kind of my claim to fame and why Christina Womack and I are almost like kindred spirits and sisters is I was in a sorority in college. I went to Texas State University, which is actually Southwest Texas State University, and joined a sorority. And lo and behold, I found out when I was graduating that they had this really cool job in sorority life where you could apply to be one of their leadership consultants and travel on a national basis, making a whopping $400 a month. So I interviewed, I went to corporate headquarters in Indianapolis, and I was hired. So I was one of 5 women that was able to travel the country for a full year. My dad wasn't too happy about that, but it was just one of the coolest things I've ever did. And what I have to say about leadership, kind of, going back to what you said, Heather, is I really look at the faces in the room of the people who epitomize leadership for me. Some of my, I'm probably part of y'all's fan club, and I look at Brenda, I look at Tim at Chevron, I look at Alacia, I look at Christina, Ken, I look at Deanne, who are all very different leaders, very different people and personalities, but they do this thing called leadership so incredibly well. To sum up leadership, really it's one word for me: humility, and then it's really being the first one into battle and the last one to leave. And hopefully you're still standing as you're going through it. So that's what I would say.
Amazing. You guys are all amazing leaders. Melinda, was there anything else that came out of that travel time with the sorority?
That's how I found my husband.
Oh. All right,
Couldn't find anybody in Texas, so I had to go up to the Midwest and find somebody.
I'll always be a Yankee to Ben Metter, so no matter how long that I'm here. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. For those of you that don't know, we're talking about Impact Pasadena Leadership. It was founded in 2019 through the vision of some visionaries here in our community with Ken Phelps and some others in the city's Economic Development Corporation who had a vision to, when we think about leadership in the program, not to grow leaders from scratch, but to really take leaders who are already impacting and influencing our community and investing in them to grow their leadership, their influence, and their impact. For me, leadership is all about influence and impact, moving people towards a common objective. And we're excited today because there's so many amazing leaders here. If you have been a part of Impact Pasadena as a speaker, as a mentor, as a participant, if you've hosted the group, would you guys just quickly stand? I want to see everyone who's touched Impact Pasadena in any way in the last 2 years. Please stand. I want you to look around. If you're online, if you'll put Impact in there as well. Thank you so much for investing in this next level leadership program. It's really second to none. We spend a year in intensive on discussing and talking about leadership development. And to me, leadership is first personal before it's corporate. So we spend a lot of time growing and helping to grow the individuals and investing in them to grow their personal leadership, their definition of leadership, their definition and vision and their values, because that's the foundation that we live everything else through. So this last year has been pretty intense with leadership. I think our leadership has been tested and challenged. I'm just going to ask a couple of you briefly, what is the one thing that you've learned through this last 18 months about leadership as you've come through COVID that maybe was tested or revealed to you in the last 18 months? Maybe just a couple of you that you went through with this COVID and your leadership definition or certain things got exposed in that. What might you share? They're passing it to Brendan.
What I've seen is how you have to lead through a lot of ambiguity. And how do you do that? And it really comes down to you got to trust your people. You ask questions, you work together, but I know that the team knows how we need to do it. And there's a table of deans back there. There's a second table of the directors, and then over here we have Deronda and Alicia, and it was really, you just got to be able to trust and, ask questions, but then you go. You can't be paralyzed in your decisions. You have to make them and go and trust your people.
Who else would like to share? Heather?
Quotes that really helped get me through the last 18 months. The first one is a new beatitude that we're going to add to that list found in the Bible. Blessed are the flexible, for they never get bent out of shape. And then the next thing that I said 1 million times to people on my team, people in my community, is the great ones adjust. And boy, have I seen some people just exemplify greatness. People who just adjusted in a minute's notice. School nurses that became contact tracers, work that they'd never had to do at that rate before. School leadership who had to reinvent educational systems literally overnight. Business owners who had to learn how to transition to do remote care. I just am super impressed by how great we really have become as we've all really embraced the idea of adjusting.
Anyone else?
I got one, Rick. For me, it was just the humility I saw amongst all of the leaders in the community of Pasadena. The humility to take a step back and look for the playbook that says, how do I deal with a pandemic that's raging across the entire world? And there's nothing there to help you. But the humility that all of our leaders in Pasadena saw and took of, there is no playbook, but I'm going to go ask for help. And I saw the help of the entire community come together to overcome one of the worst disasters we've ever seen and to come out on top and probably come out better for it because of that humility that everyone in Pasadena exemplified throughout the entire time.
Oh, thank you. I know all of you have stories about leadership over the last 18 months. And before we can start talking about Impact Pasadena and digging into what that program is and what we do, I just want to say to all of you in Pasadena, you leaders, whether you're running teams, you started a company, maybe you're an employee, an employer, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for being a transformational leader in this community. because Pasadena, we got to see so many amazing people from the school districts to the college, to our businesses, to our city government and leadership, the partnerships, the chamber. I just want to say to all of you, well done. Well done. You guys deserve a hand. So we're going to do a little promo for Impact Pasadena because we are going to be launching Impact Pasadena Leadership 2022. We'll be opening up applications, so if you're interested in being a part, we'd love for you to participate and listen today. If you know someone who you think would benefit from this program, we'd like you to let them know as well, and we're going to tell you how to do that before we're done today. But I also want to share with you as we go into this, this isn't about beginning leadership. These are about people who, as you can already tell, are already leaders. They're entrepreneurs, they're running companies, they're influencing and impacting our community long before they joined Impact Pasadena. So this is for every level of leadership in our community to help you take that leadership to the next level together in our city. So let me ask the graduates first. So we have 3 graduates here from the last 2 years. When you were first thinking about Impact Pasadena and being a part of the leadership program, what were your initial thoughts going in? And then as you went through it and now you're on the other side, did they measure up? Was it different than what you thought? But what was your thoughts going in? Heather, I know you have a pretty interesting perspective going in, whether you want to share it or not, and then coming out. But why don't you guys share briefly, what was your thoughts coming in, and then going out, was it different?
So what attracted me to Impact Pasadena was one person with a beautiful smile and an encouraging spirit, and that is Miss Christina Womack. I had worked with her during my time with Pasadena ISD through Shining Stars, and she's just somebody that I really admired. I really admired how she presented herself and how encouraging and hope-filled she always was. So if Christina was promoting it, I wanted to sign up for it. And I really thought that it was going to be a great opportunity to network in the community. I really, in my mind, I viewed it as a networking event. So when I got to the retreat and found out that it was a lot of self-reflection and personal work and personal challenge, well, I'm a therapist, and I do that all day, every day with my clients, but you know, the old adage is that plumbers live in houses with broken pipes, and so there was a lot of work that I needed to do personally, and I didn't like Rick very much in the beginning at all, and he knows this. I love him now, but it was really challenging, and I would say I went in with the hopes that I would build my business, but I came out knowing that I'd built myself. And I know that when I'm built up who I am as a person and a leader, then my business benefits. So thanks, Rick.
Absolutely.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Who else?
Okay, I'll take it next. So when I went into it, it was a lot of thought about it because I knew that there was going to be some time that you had to be away from the office as a small business owner. All of my small business owner people out there that are going, oh my gosh, I've got to spend time away from the office. It's going to be great because I'm going to meet people who are trying to do the same thing I am, but it is time for me to pick my head up, and because you're digging into your business, and then it's like, okay, the world has changed. Let me pick my head up and see what's going on. And I knew it was that time, but then I'm looking, okay, there's financial commitment, time commitment, and you know there's always additional time because you've got to reflect on some of these things that are going on. And so I thought, I slid in at the last hour with that application going, okay, I'm ready. And did it meet my expectations? No. It far exceeded my expectations. It absolutely gave me all these amazing people to connect with that I wasn't expecting. But I have to admit, at the end of the day, I was looking for a shortcut. I was looking for a shortcut to mentors. I was looking for a shortcut to the amazing people that are in Pasadena, and to see what I had missed when I had put my head down and said, I'm going to grow this business, and come up and go, wow, look at the changes, look. And I think also because growing up, being from Pasadena, raised in Pasadena, going to San Jac, U of H, thinking that, I know everything about it, so you don't realize how much it's changed and how much you really need to get out there and tell people. So it far exceeded my expectations.
Let me ask you guys as mentors. So Brenda and Melinda were mentors for the last 2 years to a student. One of the things that we do in Impact Pasadena, which I think makes it next level, is everyone who is a part of the program gets assigned a next level mentor, someone who's been at it for a long time, not perfect, but working hard to learn and to grow and impact our city. And they get private time with them all year long. They don't only get access to that one mentor, but they also have access to all of the mentors if they choose to pursue a conversation with them and to learn from them. And so you guys as mentors, Brendan and Melinda, you weren't only mentors, but your businesses were also sponsors and had, I know from the college, you guys put people in the program, and Melinda, your company sponsored and supported another person, someone else from outside, into the program. So would you guys share with me a little bit, why did you choose to get involved with Impact Pasadena first, and what was your decision process to get involved with that, and was it worth the time and the energy that you guys have spent as mentors? What did you experience as a mentor?
She's making me go first. So as far as why did our company, Better Staffing Services, decide to be one of the legacy sponsors, it's because leadership, it's all about leadership. Leadership, everything rises and falls based on leadership. And I know our CEO and our founder of our company, Ben Metter, actually started a leadership program internally at Metter Staffing years ago. So when we heard the vision that Ken Phelps had been talking about for years and I know you're embarrassed, but really made it come to fruition by asking the right people to come alongside, as Brenda defined leadership earlier. You pick the right people, and they made a program come into existence. And so we felt like we needed to be part of that. And when Ben and I talked about when we'd pick somebody from Better Staffing, to participate in the program, we both looked at each other and said, we need to go to PISD. And we're going to give them our sponsorship and let them select their participant because we think they're really our superheroes in the community. And I just have such great respect for you, Deanne, and Troy, and everybody in the district. But our workforce comes from them. And so we really felt like we needed to give our participant back to the school district. And thank you, Deanne and Troy. I don't know who is accountable for it, but they selected Jeremy Richardson, the Pasadena Memorial principal, and ironically enough, Ben ended up becoming his mentor. And so that's why we did that. So, and your other question was
about being a mentor.
About being a mentor.
Yeah. Why'd you choose to do?
Well, of course, on the other side, the mentees feel like they hit the jackpot with their mentor. I think mentors feel the same way. Like I had the opportunity to mentor Miss Olivia Rivers with the Bridge Over Troubled Waters in 2019 and Heather in 2020. And to be honest, I did not feel like I should have been a mentor because I was like, why are they coming to me? There's so many other people in the community that know so much more about leadership. And I just very sincerely and genuinely say this. They felt like I came into their lives. I felt like it was an appointed time for them to come into my lives, that it was truly God ordained, and have given more to me than I can honestly say I gave back to them as a mentor. But the relationships, not just with the two of them, but I look at Malia and Kicker and so many of the 2019 class that really took it upon themselves is, Alicia and Rick said, we have one mentor, but we're going to go and talk with everybody. And I really think those conversations, sitting, across the table from one to the other, I think we're seeing fruit to this day because of those conversations that took place. So thank you, Impact 2019 class and 2020 class. I just can't say enough about you and just appreciate each one of you.
Brenda?
So originally I got involved because, Ken is my best friend, and when Ken does something, the whole family does it with Ken. And but to be honest, Ken had this vision for years, and I believed in it. I love Pasadena. This is my community. This is, my family's community, and I just saw the incredible potential of this program. And then when Ken got Melinda involved and Rick, and then I got Alicia involved, man, you just saw the power of the program that was being developed. And this is really about, I think, the future of our community and our future about keeping people engaged and the passion that's here. And so it has been absolutely an incredible program. We had 2 people participate. Deronda is here, and she has participated. Yesenia participated, and then she met a guy in Oklahoma, moved, and you know how that is. And I tried to tell her Oklahoma's not that great, but when you look at it, and we'll have somebody in the next round, but it's about the people within our college need to understand what's happening here in Pasadena, and then having those relationships. And it is a great personal development, and I agree with you, Heather. It pushes you a little bit. And as far as being a mentor, I was like Melinda. I'm like, oh my God, they must be hard up here. They are asking me, and and then I'm like, Ken's making them do this. No. But it was a real honor. Alex was my first mentee, and then Diane Phelan was my second one. And I loved having the conversations and being able to really sit down. I mean, they asked hard questions, we talked about things, but it was a growth opportunity for me. And it was pretty amazing. Kicker came to visit, and I'm a little upset now. I thought she was only picking me to come visit, and she was actually going to see all of us. So, but it is that synergy. And what we accomplish together in this city and our community is around those relationships. So, and that's what I really see the impact really developing.
Thank you, Brenda. So we're going to wrap up. We've got about a minute left. So here's what I want to do with you guys is I want to ask you this. What would you say to anyone considering, one, either applying to be in the program, or a company who wants to put someone in the program or become one of our sponsors? So quickly, what would you say, what would be your sell to anyone who's thinking about or considering being part of Impact? And we're just going to go down the line, and then we're going to wrap up.
Do it right now. Like, straight up, there's no better time spent than working with the team for Impact, meeting with mentors, meeting with local community members of Pasadena through Impact. Every single hour I spent thinking about Impact, working with Impact, doing anything related to Impact, I probably got tenfold out of it in value, just from the level of collaboration and just the lessons I learned, and helping the community of Pasadena just elevate its game when it comes to leadership and building that generational leadership across all of the community. Awesome. Heather?
Good, thank you. I think I'll quote Mark Twain, who said, if you want to get ahead, get started. And I think Impact was a great start for me and for so many of us. Impact connected us to the community and showed us a part of the community that we didn't have access to previously. So if your company is considering sponsoring or even sending someone to become a student in Impact Pasadena, I encourage you to get started.
Kicker?
I'm going to agree with Spencer on this one. Do it now, do it quick, do it fast. I was able to slide in at the very end and still managed to be accepted, but I was in the first group, and I know that with so many more that have been turned out with 2020 that it's going to be so much more of a challenge this time. They're going to have so many people to look through and to select. So I would definitely say do it as quick as possible, and agree as well on the sponsorship. If you see someone in your organization who is someone that you really see as an up-and-coming leader, or someone that you would love to see take on more leadership roles, this would be a perfect opportunity to sponsor and get them in here as quick as possible.
Would you guys speak to the sponsorship a little bit, to those who might be considering being a sponsor as well?
Okay.
As we finish up?
Well, and I do want to thank Mayor Wagner and the EDC for the sponsorship that you put into this program. And for Christina for taking the challenge when Ken brought it, and then, because I know how that comes sometimes when Ken brings those challenges. So, and I do love Ken. But that sponsorship is critical. The program is first class. Why did we sponsor it? Again, because it's an important component of our community. It's an important component of our role. And we want to be at the table. Those relationships are critically important. And so when I think about the benefit to San Jac, it really is being able to benefit and have more leaders understand what's so incredible about this community and how we operate.
And I'll just end with, as far as sponsorship, we reap what we sow. And I think we're called as leaders to be good stewards. And where we put our money is what we're going to receive back. And so that's why Better Staffing decided to, let's put our funds where we believe that we're going to get the reward. And it's not just getting a future workforce, but it's like Brenda said, it's all about future leaders. And we have a heart for this community. We love Pasadena, and we want to put our financial blessing and steward that really well. So, and then I just say to those of you who are looking at participating, just kind of like what Spencer said, just do it, say yes and amen, because it is so incredibly worth it.
I want to invite Malia to come up and want to say thank you to the panel for you guys for sharing today.